Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the first session of the Data Badger Show. I wanted to do this show because I feel like right now there's a lot of isolation and a lot of negativity out there. I really wanted to do something to help build community. I want to share with the audience out there some of the people I already know and meet some other great people along the way. So I hope you enjoy this. Again, we're just trying to be positive, trying to share what each other's doing and try to build that community. My first guest is Austin Hagen. He is with the Proteus Discovery Group. I think you're going to love what he has to say. He is in Wisconsin. Of course, I lived in Wisconsin for quite a few years. So watch out for how many times we say or so on this session. Thank you. All right, Austin, thanks for coming today. I really do appreciate it. We've got Austin Hagen. Austin, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the e-discovery profession.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Excited to be on with you today. So, like a lot of people, probably at least in the beginning, right, just kind of fell into it. So I grew up in Western Iowa, small little town called Ida Grove. Eventually moved to Wisconsin. My senior year of high school, spent 4 years in the frozen tundra at University of Wisconsin Superior. And then I had a friend who called me up after we graduated and said, "Hey, I'm working at this company called Kroll On Track doing this e-discovery thing. I think you would enjoy it." So I actually started on my birthday, December 2nd, 2005. So I will always remember that. And I was there with him for a few months, and then he left, got out of the industry, and I realized I really liked it and enjoyed it, and could see myself making a career. And now here I am, 20 years into it, and enjoying it.
That's funny. I really like Kroll on Track. I know it went by another name from a lot of people, kind of mocking it, but I thought it was fantastic at the time. We're talking, gosh, what, 15 years ago now? But I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed working there. They were doing a lot of custom things as far as back end production templates and things like that that were. I know we always, when I was there, got dinged on not being flexible and custom. But when I was on the other side of things, there was a lot of custom work that could get done, which was a lot of fun and really cool to see.
Yeah. Of course, for those who don't know the geography of it, Superior, all of Wisconsin has to thank Superior. They're our first line of defense against those gophers across the river there. So thank you for that.
Yeah, yes. Happy to help.
I think people too forget Lake Superior is so beautiful. It's clear like you're in a Caribbean, ocean uh,
Yeah,
on
and
that
it
beach there.
It was, I had never really been there growing up in Iowa, not knowing too much about Wisconsin and then northern Wisconsin. It was incredible to me. My first summer up there, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just go swim in the lake. And no, you will not. It needs to be like 90, like 2 weeks in a row in order to be tolerable. It was really cold. There was one year, so I played baseball up there my freshman year. I didn't start and didn't get in a lot, but I remember the last game my freshman year was in May and it was in a snowstorm, but we were still playing. We were huddled in the dugout around a little campfire, and you could barely see your glove in front of your face, but we were out there playing.
Of course, the key that the real Wisconsinites know is you have to bulk up. You layer by eating cheese all year, so that
That's
in those
right.
3 months of winter you have way up there, you can manage to get into the water.
Yeah, cheese and bratwursts.
That's right. I myself moved from Charleston, South Carolina to Milwaukee. So it was a little bit of a culture shock for me, but I think I adapted at least to eating the cheese part of it.
Yeah, there you go.
And of course, you're working with Proteus. You've been there for quite a while now. Walk us through what Proteus offers and kind of give us a little bit of their differentiators. What sets you guys apart from everybody else?
Yeah, so our big one is we're litigator led. So the four partners who founded Proteus came from big law. They're lawyers. They're still practicing law. So we can really help with the clients on digging into the case and the lawsuit and ESI protocols. And the other thing too is we're technologically and agnostic. I butchered that, but we offer multiple tools, right? We have Relativity One, we have Everlaw, we have Venio and QuickData, and we really look to work with the clients to find the best tool for the job, right? We don't necessarily need to put everything into a single platform. If it's a small case, you want to get some good cost savings. Venio and QuickData are great options for that. We've built them out within our cloud environment. We are able to offer a better price point. If you have the big fast moving ones, and you're comfortable with Relativity One, then we can certainly put it into Relativity One. We've shut down our instance of Relativity Server this year, so that was a big task with moving everything out there and moving them into different platforms. So we have experience getting things out of Rel Server, moving of course to Relativity One, but also Venio, Quick Data, and getting those more traditional load files out and making sure that the data is still there, it's still sound, running through the QC process. So having that spectrum of experience across multiple tools has been really helpful for our team.
Yeah. And I think, we used to have conferences about things. Now we only have conferences that mention AI. One of the big things I think we're not talking about is that relativity server situation in terms of it being shut down or it's being scheduled to be shut down. That's a huge movement. And I think there's so much interesting things to talk about there in terms of what's going to happen with that. And again, with that kind of everything must be AI, I think we're missing it.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's a big movement too, right? Especially if you're moving to these other tools because you can't go to a simple archive, right? You have to do load
Mhm.
files out, and you have to be mindful of can you move redactions over? Can you move searches over? The history, all of that, trying to figure all that out. And gets really complex. And if it's something you're looking to do, you really have to build time, especially for your large matter. It's not going to be a month-long endeavor. It could be multiple months, right? Make if you have hundreds of searches that you need to move over, if you have all these QC checks that you need to do. So I do agree. I think it's getting lost in the buzz of the AI. Everyone loves AI and it's fantastic. We use it.
Mhm.
I use it in my personal life. My wife uses it to make new recipes and everything like that. But in our space in eDiscovery, yeah, definitely have to start thinking about what's going to happen and how long do you actually need to move some of that data.
Yeah, I think when you're working with great providers, sometimes you think that there's an easy button to everything and things just happen overnight. But the truth is, a lot of that movement is going to take some time. Also, from a basic logistics standpoint, I think if companies are waiting till the last minute, it's a real opportunity to wait to go through and see what you actually need versus what you can go ahead and archive and be done with. But if you're leaving that to the last minute, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to miss a real opportunity there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Planning is key, right? And I like that you hit on see what you actually need. I know when we went through ours, there were cases that we realized we didn't need anymore, right? So we didn't no we didn't need to transfer those over, identify the priorities, and then work with the clients as well to, hey, there's firm deadlines around this, right? Set that firm deadline and work backwards from there.
Mhm.
Certainly be flexible where you can, but at the end of the day, we felt it needed to get out of Relativity Server this year. So we worked with all of our clients and we made it happen.
And there may be some revenue surprises too that people are used to having that amount. Once you say to them, hey, we're going to move it, you will see a lot of people say, oh, you know what? I haven't been in there in a year. Go ahead and archive it. So,
Correct.
again,
Yeah.
something to plan for.
Yeah. Yeah. Be mindful of that, certainly.
And then I want to talk about, so you said you're agnostic. You guys have a bunch of different options for people. Kind of walk me through what would be the reason to go with one versus the other on any situation?
Yeah, so some of it, honestly does come down to cost, right? With Venio and Quick Data kind of being that relativity server replacement and additional tool for that, we're able to offer better pricing around that, so you can get better savings there. And they also have all the AI tools built in, so your more traditional email threading, your assisted review, and then the generative AI that we're seeing out in the marketplace. Those tools are also in there as well. And then an opportunity to train clients to see those. They function similar to relativity. They have their differences, right? Because every tool does. So really identify what's the need of the case. What's your primary goal? Is it just 1 gigabyte you need to get in? Maybe review it and produce it out, or a handful of gigabytes. Relativity one might not be the best tool for that. You can use another
Mm-hmm.
tool to get some more cost savings for your client and yourselves, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah. And relativity's been so successful. I know at one time they were saying they're in 98 of the MLAW 100. I don't know what the numbers are anymore, but I'm sure it's probably similar. But they've been so successful. I think sometimes their name becomes the generic. It becomes that Kleenex that people say, oh, relativity. People who don't use a lot of eDiscovery will say that. And they don't necessarily mean relativity. They mean a review platform, but that's the name they know. So it's always
Yes.
great to dig in with them and say, okay, what do you actually want to do? What do you actually mean? And again, do you have that experience? Because sometimes a lot of those big tools, they're not going to be used.
Correct. Yeah. You just have this fancy tool sitting out there with small amount of data, and
Hmm.
you're just paying for it, and all these different features, which are great. It's relativity's feature rich, and
Absolutely.
it's great to use. But if you're just looking for a small little matter, and you just need to maybe produce out a couple PDFs, why not potentially look to use something else, and we can certainly help with that.
Absolutely. I always use the analogy when I go to the grocery store, I see these giant trucks because I'm in Tennessee, right? I see these
Mhm.
giant trucks, they'll be dualies, trail rated, whatever, these monster trucks, and they're so shiny and clean.
Yeah.
They've never been off road. They've never seen a dirt road. They've got the truck bed liner and then the cover over top of it, something we would have never seen 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Those are great, but are you actually using it? My
Yeah.
little Jeep has seen a lot of scratches from going up the mountain for camping, and I don't know who these people are. Again, great, but is it getting you where you need to be? Could that not have been achieved by something else? And I think sometimes people get into a relativity where it does have so many great features and they want to do a linear click next, click next, click next review. And it's like, well, we can do that, but are we in the right place?
Yeah, absolutely. An opportunity to use something else is great, and we're happy to help with that. It's funny that you mentioned those big trucks. So I still live in Northwest Wisconsin, and we have horses and chickens. So my truck gets a lot of use.
There you go. Yeah, I had a friend who lived in Hayward for quite a while up
Okay.
there. So it's an interesting place. Being a North Shore Milwaukee guy, it's funny the different versions of Wisconsin there are,
Yeah,
especially as you get
yeah.
way up there.
I always explain to people, I live in Wisconsin, and they're like, "Oh, then they name a name, and it's usually around Milwaukee or Madison." I'm like, "No, I'm on the other side of the state. I'm 2 hours from Minneapolis, 2 hours from Duluth. So if I have to go to the airport, I always go to the Minneapolis airport, which is it's a 2 hour drive for me to get there, and do spend some time down on the other side of the state." But yeah, Wisconsin's, and I'm sure it's like a lot of states, right? But
Mhm.
everyone thinks Milwaukee, Madison, but it's different on the western side of the state.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an hour and a half train ride for us to get to downtown Chicago. So we were living a slightly different life than those people who
Yeah.
were up there north of Minneapolis, which I didn't even know existed.
Yeah. That's funny. Grew up in Iowa too. Whenever we came up to Minneapolis to watch baseball, because I'm a big baseball fan, I just love the game. Anything north of Minneapolis was like Canada.
Hmm.
And now I live here and I go up. My brother lived in International Falls, Minnesota for a while, right on the border. So got me into sturgeon fishing. We go up there a couple times a year to fish for sturgeon. And it's just crazy thinking when I grow up, I thought that was, Canada, anything north of Minneapolis.
Absolutely. And someone will comment and correct me on this, but I've found that "wa" in all of the Wisconsin names means water. So if anyone ever mentions something to you and you don't know what it is, if it says "wa" on it, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, right there on the water." It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's a lake or river; it'll be there, you know. Or if you want to make up a place in Wisconsin, yeah, yeah, Wawaka,
Yeah, yeah, just throw a Y in there. Yeah, that's
yeah,
so funny.
Wawa, Wa,
Yeah.
Juan.
Yes.
Anyway, you know, Austin, I'm sorry, Austin. I'm a big user of the EOS system. I think people who know me know that I really rely on it heavily. And one of the key things is doing our quarterly priorities, setting our priorities for the quarter, making sure we're moving forward on life. When we're doing that, I kind of look at it as terms of the dragons and the unicorns. And this is something that after the open text world, people apparently really enjoyed. They mentioned it several times. Walk me through kind of what are some of the dragons, those things that are hurting the industry or hurting teams, and some of those unicorns, those dreams that if we only had this, what would it look like? Walk me through what you see in those in terms of the industry.
Yeah, great question. I'm a big fan of EOS as well. We use it. We just had our 2 day annual leadership meeting here a couple weeks ago. So we were talking about those dragons and the unicorns. I think one of the dragons trying to understand, right. So I mentioned we brought on Venio and Quick Data, and we've done that in the last 6 months. So we're really at the tail end of the year was focused on getting the team trained, understand how the tools work, so we're ready to go to market and work with clients on that. So everyone on the team has great experience in relativity, and then transitioning that to other platforms. How do you do that? Not one but two platforms. Honestly, is a real challenge, but the team has embraced it. They're emboldened by it. They have the opportunity to give feedback to both of those platforms. We meet with them on a regular basis. So I think if you're looking to bring in other tools, don't be afraid to express your opinions. There's always going to be frustrations, right? At the end of the day, most of the industry is built on relativity. You mentioned the AM law, and so what we're trying to do is emulate workflows from relativity in the other tools, right? And there's certain can't do all of them the exact same way, but there's ways to do that, and figuring those out is important. And then also working with clients to understand the proposition value of these other tools. Like you mentioned, relativity is just kind of the blanket term for eDiscovery, right? But
Mhm.
understanding how we market and how we sell these other tools is important, and a big challenge, but one that we're excited about, and we're seeing some good progress on that. And then also identifying talent, right? I how do you get good talent that wants to learn these other tools, embrace the challenges, because it is a challenge anytime you have to learn a new technology, right? So we talked about a lot about at our last leadership meeting is not only upskilling our current team, but also reaching out to people we've worked with in the past, right? To see what they're doing now, where they're up with. We're big believers, if we can, when we need to, if we can hire people we've worked with in the past. I've been in the industry for a while. Others on the team have been, and they have experience with great people. We also work with recruiters who do a great job identifying that talent. And then also we're asking our team, and we talked about this as well, to really work with the clients to understand not only what they're being asked to do, but the why behind their being asked to do, right? I think that's a key thing. You don't want to lose sight of this industry. Of you get a request to run a search. Well, that's great. What do you want? What do you want done with the search? Why do you want the search done? What type of results do you want to see out of the search? That type of thing. I think it's important to figure out.
I love that. That's so key. It's one of those things that sounds trivial, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
so important to know the what versus the why. And one of the things that makes horrible demos, I see a lot of demos, is when they do these what demos. Oh, the button's over here. Oh, this is over here. Oh, burger menu. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be trained on it. I want you to walk me through the why. Why am I doing this? What is the achievement that's going to happen here? Because there's so much value in that. But people just fall back into that what situation of, again, this menu does this menu does this, and burger menus everywhere. I remember a time we never said burger menu. I can't make it through a demo without someone saying burger menu. It's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But why? What are we going to, why is it that we need to do this? What are we trying to achieve from it? Not where are the buttons?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that really can separate not only a software company, but a vendor or your internal practice support at a law firm or a corporation as well. When you're working with your team, when you're talking to new users or even experienced users, the why behind it, really focus on that is important.
And you talked about your great team and about, where you guys find talent. So if somebody wants to join that team, what would be the best way? Is it just a simple sense of they've worked with you guys before? How would they make that step to join the Proteus team?
Yeah, so reach out to us on LinkedIn. So we're most of the team is on LinkedIn. Active users, reach out to us there if you want to know more. Reach out to us, or feel free to always reach out to me directly too. I'm happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
You of course are in Wisconsin. The main office is in Indianapolis. They walk in with a basket of pork loin sandwiches, show that they know their Indianapolis culture.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. And we also have an office in Portland as well. So we have
Oh,
the
okay.
two different offices. But yeah, the primary office is in Indianapolis.
Interesting. Yeah. And then in terms of talent, there's a great Jack Daly bit out there that Jack Daly says, people ask me how I motivate my team. I don't. I hire them that way.
Yeah.
Finding those people, like you say, working with people so you can see what they're really like and understand, like, okay, what are we getting here? I don't want to teach someone how to behave. I'll teach them a subject matter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think finding people who are hungry and want to grow and want to learn is important. And that's really something we look for, especially with the PM team, right? Not just someone you mentioned in a demo, and it's not someone who can come in and click all the buttons, but why you're clicking these buttons and anticipate to the extent that you can once you start working clients, anticipate what they're looking for to help them and really grow value in their case strategy, whatever that may be. And then also think ahead too. That's one thing we encourage our PMs, like as the VP of operations, it's my job for the structure and the core processes and things like that. But I really want the team to have input into if they don't like it, tell me why you don't like it and what you would do to look to improve it too. We're really looking for that when we hire new talent.
Absolutely. And then I did want to ask you, I'm always trying to be grateful, especially in this season. Share with me a leader you're grateful for.
Yeah, I'd be my dad. So my dad, I learned a lot from him growing up. He either ran or owned a grocery store for a short time growing up. So he worked hard, but he always made sure when I was growing up he was home at noon for lunch with my mom because she was a stay-at-home mom, or 5 o'clock, and then he may have to go back to dinner afterwards, or he'd get called in the middle of the night because a freezer went down and he's got to go move everything out into temporary coolers and things like that. But seeing how he handled that is, I think, really been beneficial for me because there's a lot of that in eDiscovery, especially when I was a project manager. There were a lot of emergency requests, and so I would try to have dinner with the family and then go handle it afterwards. There were certainly times I couldn't do that, and either could he, but really trying to emulate what he did and put the family first. I think that's really important. Don't lose sight of your family. Don't lose sight of your own individual health because that's going to help your organization at the end of the day. And I really learned a lot from him.
Absolutely awesome. You're speaking my language. I'm a big fan of once the kids are in bed from 8 to midnight, whatever, I'm happy to work. But if I'm working that 5 to 8, what am I working for anymore?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's a real challenge. Taking time away for the reason you're working,
mm-hmm.
right? I love to work. I love my job, but at the end of the day, I want to do what I can for my family.
Absolutely. All right, awesome. I really appreciate you spending the time with me today. Learned a lot about you, your group. Love the Christmas tree behind you. I love authentic backgrounds. I know as I say that in front of a fake background, but I really do enjoy it. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah, I was actually going to mention the Christmas tree. So we love Christmas. In our family, we have 5 trees up, 4 upstairs, and the kids have one downstairs. So they can't wait to put them up, and they get a little sad. And honestly, so do I when I take them down. But so I love the backgrounds, and you mentioned that as well. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to find me on LinkedIn and reach out. And happy to talk about Proteus or just talk about eDiscovery and where you're at in your journey.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Andrew.